It's actually a game I played last night for you guys on the channel, and that is Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And so this game actually technically came out today, but it was unlocked at 9 p.m. Last night over here. So as soon as the game was out, I'm like, let's fucking play it. I know I want to play this game anyways. I've been on the fence about it. Just seeing some of the footage leading up to it, I wasn't like quite sure if it was the game for me or not. It was I had no problem with Zelda being the protagonist. In fact, I've seen like some people have issue with that, which I think is all manufactured bullshit. But for me, I was like, great, I'm excited. Zelda's a protagonist. She's an awesome character. I love playing her in Melee and all this other shit. Let's see a game with her. And you know what? I have to say, yes, I love the idea behind this game. I love the echo system, which is like the magical shit that you do. Pretty much, you get
The
the
magical shit.
powers. You get the power of different things in your journey. So you'll fight an enemy and then you'll be able to absorb that power directly afterwards. Maybe you see a table, right, in the middle of nowhere, and then you grab the table and you're like, now I can make tables. So the thing that's cool about that mechanic is there's so many different items in the world and you can just like fucking makeshift your own stuff. Now, this was also the thing I was on the fence about. And the reason why is because I felt like it was just going to turn into like I'm going to stack 10 beds and get around and I'm going to like to me it's like Zelda could have a sword, you could have so many different things with this character and this is supposed to be the core mechanic that you're just stacking shit like fucking Minecraft. So I was a little bit turned off by that in the trailer. Playing the game, I actually think this is the strongest part of the game that you can use the echoes. You get to like use a bunch of different enemies that you come across, which like all of them are fun to use. You get to use a bunch of different items. I just got like an electric item recently that I thought was super cool. So I love that. And you've got this little thing with you called a try, and it's like a spirit. And that has abilities as well. And I thought that was just well done too, that you have the Echoes ability and then you have this little character that can also do stuff for you. It is very Breath of the Wild. If you've played Breath of the Wild, you're going to instantly be like, everything in this is inspired by Breath of the Wild pretty much, but in like a Link's Awakening engine. But here, let's get to the stuff that I am on not as good graces with this game. So first I'll say, the intro to this game is excellent, right? It pulls you right into the action. Right away, you get the motivation. There's not a lot of, storytelling vocally, but everything visually, everything they make you do in the game, it's really powerful. And as you go through, then, slowly they have to give you the exposition, whatever. And I was still okay. I was still in it. But then the story itself, it just bombards you with so much fucking text. And I got to a point where I was like, oh my God, stop talking at me and let me play the fucking game. So that might just be exposition they needed to give me, and that might not be reflective of the rest of the game because I've only played maybe 3 to 5 hours of this. But dear God, I was complimenting it in the beginning for it being simple and like just straight to the point, and then all of a sudden it just like started dropping fucking text on me. So fuck that. But here is my main issue with the game. It's clunky. It is clunky, guys. I love Zelda games a lot, but this game, when you're controlling your own character, it feels great, but everything they've added around your own character is super clunky. The thing that people noticed last night when I was playing is as I was gathering more echoes, they were like, oh, can't you make like favorites or shortcuts or anything to this? And I was like, no, you literally can't. All you can do is see like your last viewed or like your last received or the most used or that kind of stuff or like what uses the most of like your energy. But you can't just go like, I use these 5, put this like in its own menu and just go to that. And that shit pisses me off because you're literally scrolling through like endless fucking just menu, just trying to get the item that you want. I like that you get a lot of options, but that's just a big oversight for something that relies on this. You need to have like some kind of shortcut to just get to the things that you want. I felt like that really slowed me down. But the biggest thing is the performance issues. This game chugs along. Holy shit, it chugs along. The game, like when you're on the world map, it drops in frames so badly. And then when you go and talk to a character, like zooms and catches up, and then it runs normally. And James, at one point you were watching me and you're like, "Oh, I think this is running at 60 because like the waterfall was running fine, but like everything else in the fucking game was running terribly."
Yeah,
So it's like little aspects of the game run fine, but then as soon as you get into a big map with it, it just can't fucking handle anything.
yeah, I looked it up, and this is probably the number one complaint that people have about the game is it actually tries to run at 60, and apparently Link's Awakening has this issue as well. So it tries to hit 60, and so every time I was looking over, I'm like, oh, that's 60 frames a second. But what it will do is it will fucking go from 60, and then the next screen will be 30, the next screen will be 60, and it jumps back and forth all the
Yeah.
fucking time. And I played like literally like 10 seconds, maybe less, after you went off air, and I'm like, oh shit. Because when you're jumping at like between 30 and 60 frames, like so rapidly like that, you feel it. You can really, really feel it, and it is very, very, very rough in a
Mhm.
non-turn-based game. I wish what they did was they had a just lock to 30F button. Nintendo doesn't like settings. They don't like to give players options. They want their games to be perfect out of the gate, and you just play them and then you go. But for this game, and the state it's in, if they can't get that performance up to 60 through a patch, they really should just give players the option to lock at 30 because
Yeah.
it is very, very jarring. And it'll be areas you don't even expect. Overall, it's like when you're in a small house, it's running at 60. But in the hub world, it will go 30, 60, 30, 60, 30, 60. I think your 2D parts, where it was a side scroller, it looked like it was always 30. So it's very inconsistent.
I found that the frames were most consistent in dungeons. Like dungeons felt really good in this game, but anytime you go out into the world, I don't know if it's just loading in too much or what the fuck's happening, but it gets really fucking rough. So that is something that I try to look past, I'm not as much of a frame whore, like sometimes I can deal with
I
it,
am.
but this is like too much, guys. And on top of that, they made a weird stylistic choice to blur the top and the bottom of the screen, and it looks really bad when there's like characters at the bottom of the screen. You're just like, why is there this like squiggly blur? It's
I
a
think that's
weird
probably to
stylistic
try to
choice.
help the performance.
Perhaps, yeah, but ultimately it makes it look kind of ugly in some cases. So, not really happy with that part of it. The final complaint I will say, and I know it sounds like I don't like this game. I actually am quite enjoying this game, but it's important to point out that it's not a perfect Nintendo experience. The AI in your sense, so like when you're summoning echoes, they don't understand where to go sometimes, and it was
Yes.
infuriating. Where I'm like, I'm trying to run away from the enemy. It's charging at me. I have to stop, pause, summon you, and then you just fucking stand there. What the fuck are you doing? Go attack the guy that's running at me because I can't defend myself. So it was just infuriating that they couldn't fucking just figure out what to do and they would just stand there doing nothing. Like, Now, there are a few enemies that were like fine. So, like, if you summoned a snake or a rope, as they call them, the rope was fine. It would go and it would attack, right?
Mhm.
But then like a Dark Knight is so fucking slow. He's like he's standing watching, and then he's like, oh, I need to attack. And then he goes like this, and then he waits, and then he hits. And by the time you've like ran halfway down the map, the guy is still chasing you. The Dark Knight misses that guy because, you're running. This thing is fucking chasing you. So it's running away from all of that. It's a mess. The AI is a fucking mess in this game. It needs to something needs to snap and be like, go attack, or give me an option to give behaviors to the AI. So if you're not going to make the AI responsive enough, you can have it so that like, oh, your AI should be more aggressive. Give me that like command that you have in some like strategy games where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, this AI should be more defensive. This one should be more attack. This should stand still. If you gave me more flexibility in that, I could forgive this more. But the fact that I summon you, I'm running away because literally getting hit once is one heart for in most cases. And then you're like not moving. You're not fucking moving. Like
I
it
yeah.
pissed me
I
off.
I thought of like two very easy solutions based on this. I will say that the thing that impresses me, because it is a mixed bag game, is to me the gameplay genuinely looks more fun to me and how I enjoy games than almost any Zelda game. And that is because I've always preferred playing the summoner class. I was a lock main in World of Warcraft. In Diablo, I play the Necromancer, and just any action RPG ever, it's like if you give me the option to summon things, that is my class. I have so much fun. I don't know why. It's just I always love that. And this game, Zelda is kind of a warlock or a summoner or something. And so this to me is more fun than Link having a sword and shield and effectively being like a warrior class. So I'm like, fuck, this game is kind of the best Zelda ever in a way. But yeah, it's funny how stupid things are, because this is kind of the first time that Zelda is doing a summoner class type thing, and other games have figured out how to solve this problem. There's two easy solutions I could have done. One, you have kind of a poke them with a stick button, a whistle button to be like, hey, we're fighting right now. You should be attacking. Why aren't you attacking? So just having that kind of an alert button. Pikmin has it, right? Pikmin fucking knows how to do this. Or, again, going back to World of Warcraft, they figured this out in 2004. Being a Warlock main, you have 3 stances you can set to. And this has always been the case with Warlock and with Hunters, is you have passive, which means your adds will not attack anything no matter what. You have defensive, which is the default, meaning they don't attack unless you attack first. Or if you send them to attack, or you have them on aggressive, which is they kill everything in fucking sight until they die. So if you just had that toggle option, and you can literally map that to one button.
No, that's exactly what I want. You know, that's what they do in some other strategy games. Just give me that option to be like, go aggressive, go defensive. That's perfect. By the way, you're selling me on the other game more. I want to play that now.
World of Warcraft from 2004? Yeah. Well, sorry you can't. It sucks now.
I know.
And then, but also, the other thing I thought of, because I like the idea of, you know, summoning all this stuff, was instead of having, because it's very much a copy-paste job. This game is kind of a hatchet job thrown together, so that Nintendo can release a major game before the Switch too. And they just took the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom menu system, copy-pasted it into here. What they should have done, instead of having to scroll through everything in the menu to get the thing you want, is you can map favorites to the face buttons, and then you might go, well, your face buttons are already things, and this now goes to my favorite action RPG ever, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So what you do is, if you hold right trigger, the actions on the face buttons change to whatever you map them to. So you're in the menu, and then you can press A, B, X, Y, to map them to those buttons. Then you go out of the menu, and then while you're playing the game in real time, you just hold right trigger, press A, and that will be whatever you map it to. Right trigger, press B, and you pretty much have 4 favorites, and that's what you play. And I think, like, and that wouldn't even, you don't even have to change the game. You don't have to change the levels or the layout or anything. But if you had those 2 features, this game could be like a 10 out of 10. But because you don't have those 2 features, it holds it back. So
100%. Now the awakening thing or whatever you said, you know, like the Pikmin whistle.
Yeah.
I found a hatchet way to solve that, which is you can lift some of your characters.
I saw you throwing them at them like they're retarded.
I would just fucking lift them and throw them at the enemy and hope that they do something. It's like, go do something, pretty much. Like, go, boom. And sometimes that would work. But you can't do that with every single person that you summon either, because you have some enemies that are spiky, and you can't lift those enemies because it wouldn't make sense for Zelda to lift them. It would hurt Zelda, right? So it works with some of the characters. It doesn't work with others. So yeah, I think this game is a really cool concept. While I was playing it, James, I actually felt like it was a game you would enjoy. Obviously, the frame rate does hold it back. Like, all the performance stuff does make it so it's a hard game to sell to people. Because
can't wait to play it on the Switch too.
But I have been playing it in tablet mode, and it is slightly better. So I played it a little bit offline. It is slightly better in tablet, not enough to make a difference, but it is slightly better. So that is just something to note, which I can't do on stream, obviously, because I want you guys to be able to see the gameplay while I'm playing it on stream. So while I'm offline, I'm playing it in tablet mode. While I stream it, obviously, I'll still be on docked mode. But that is something for if you're playing at home, you can play it in handheld, and it does feel slightly better. Overall, though, I do think that this game is better than Breath of the Wild. I much prefer it. I'm going to still keep playing it. It's just, you know, with me playing Astrobot right now, it's really hard for me to play.
We are looking at how to pronounce this Japanese name.
Insidious Bliss tipped $50, lifting and throwing, huh? I think it is time to lift and throw some shirts.
Whoa, God.
Thank you, Insidious Bliss. What the
What?
fuck? Oh, God.
Ghidorah has haunted my dreams! Oh my god! No!
Anyway, the game is a 6 out of 10. It's better than
Who
Breath of the Wild.
cares about the game? Who cares? We have Ghidorah here! Anyway, go on. Thank you so much.
No, that's all I had to
Bliss.
say. I was like one sentence away. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. It's worth playing. I'm going to keep playing it. It's not polished, but it's better than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, in my opinion. The dungeons are real, man. The dungeons are fucking real, and they're fun. Thank you, Insidious.
Thank you so much. Insidious Bliss, who said lifting and throwing, huh? I think it's time to lift and throw some shirts. Well, for that, we have a new mascot dedicated to Insidious Bliss, all right? Now, we were talking about Zelda, of course. And you know what's even better than Zelda or Link in a game? I think you know what it is. It's a Zelda bear. Look at that little Zelda bear right there. What a cute little Zelda bear right there. We're just going to stick her in the corner, or him. I don't fucking know. I don't judge. Thank you, little Zelda bear. Oh, my God. Of course, we need...
Wait, but according to Echoes of Wisdom lore, you can't tell that's a bear anymore because you
What do
threw
you
a cloak
mean?
on it.
What? Because I...
Literally, in Echoes of Wisdom, the second
Yes.
you put a cloak on, it's like, we're looking for this person, but we can't find them. And you're talking to the person, and they're like, if you find this person, let us know. Literally, the cloak it's like Clark Kent's glasses.
Oh, God. That makes no fucking sense.